Okay, in today's video, we're going to break down the worst locations to buy in the Brisbane market. Now, there's lots of talk of where's the next hotspot, where's the best place to buy at the moment, but sometimes I feel like people forget about what places you should be avoiding, and ruling those places out might make your job easier in finding the right location for you. So we're going to go around the grounds of Brisbane and take a look at locations I wouldn't be spending my money, and this is purely for investment purposes. Now, if you're living in these areas at the moment, or you're planning on living in one of these locations in the future, please don't take this to heart. This is purely on a numbers and investment basis. I don't have anything against these areas. It's just that, do the numbers make sense for a property investment purchase and investing for the long term? Okay, let's kick off with area number one, where I would not be investing my money in the Brisbane region at the moment, and that is Springfield and the greater Springfield community. Now, the reason that this is Springfield is a master town plan, and the idea of Springfield is to eventually create jobs in this location and be its own satellite city. So they want you to be born in Springfield and be birthed at the local hospital. They want you to grow up and go to school in Springfield. They want you to get a job in Springfield and eventually be buried or cremated in Springfield as well. So the idea of Springfield is to create its own master city where you can live, work, play, and eventually pass away in that location and truly become its own satellite city outside of Brisbane and outside of Ipswich. Now, at the moment, there's roughly around 43,000 people living in the Springfield community, and this is expected to grow by over 100,000 in the next decade. Now, you might say there's great population growth. Look at all the demand driving into this area. They've got a world-class golf course near the Brookwater location. So why would I not be looking to invest in this location? I could get great depreciation benefits on buying a house in this location too. Now, the reason I don't like this as an investment opportunity is one, it's about 45 to 60 minutes, depending on the traffic, out from Brisbane to Springfield. There's only 2 lanes to actually drive out towards the Springfield area. And it's also not a major hub yet. It's got a large amount of land supply surrounding it, so lots of people building new homes. And the town planners, so the Springfield Lake owners, are continuing to do large-scale developments in this location. They've still got a lot of land to release, and so although there's 43,000 people at the moment, and they're looking to push up towards 100,000 people, that demand will be taken up by future supply. There's going to be an increase in supply through the land developers continuing to release land, as well as an increase in demand as the population grows. So my money would not be going in this location compared to some other opportunities in the Brisbane region. This is similar to location number 2, which is actually the centre of Ipswich. Now, Ipswich has been far more established as a location. It's got some great schools in Ipswich Grammar and some train lines out in that location. But in terms of an investment opportunity, I don't like the idea of the city being able to have that urban sprawl and continue to flood out in terms of opportunity to invest your money. Now, if you can get something unique that manufactures value or has a subdivision potential, it's quite a long way from the Brisbane CBD, and locals in Brisbane rarely travel out towards Ipswich unless they've got sporting or events or family out in that location. It's not a very common thing to commute from Ipswich to Brisbane for work. You either do your work in Ipswich or you're working in Brisbane as a separate city. Now, they do have a fantastic KFC out at Ipswich, so go check out the KFC if you're ever in Ipswich. But other than that, I wouldn't be putting my money there unless you've got a unique opportunity in terms of doing your own small development or a value add opportunity. But in terms of a bread and butter property, I wouldn't be putting my money out in Ipswich anytime soon. Now, this takes me to the growth corridor. You've heard about it. Everyone's talking about, look at the growth we're having in Brisbane. We're booming in Brisbane, and it's happening between Brisbane and the Gold Coast. That sounded very American. It's happening between Brisbane and the Gold Coast. So you've got this corridor, which is essentially Logan, and there's a section also on the northern side of the Gold Coast in Pimpama and Ormo. Now, developers and people who are touting easy buyers agencies or opportunities, who are calling themselves buyers agents, are selling properties to people in this growth corridor. Now, don't get me wrong, there's some great opportunities in Logan City Council for a granny flat, for subdivisions, for buy and hold opportunities, but it depends on the specific suburb. In this growth corridor, we're really talking about areas like Yarrabilba, Jimboomba, Pimpama and Ormo on that southwestern side of Brisbane, between Brisbane and the Gold Coast. Now, the real issue here is they are stuck between two cities, and you can go north or south to work in either Brisbane or work on the Gold Coast. But in terms of the land supply in these locations, I see it being a real issue. Now, Logan City Council and Gold Coast Council have allowed developers to do these large land subdivisions in these locations and open up a huge amount of supply in these pockets. And when these developers are making these properties, they're not making them on quarter-acre blocks like you probably want to have if you're buying this far from the city. They're really cutting them down to 300, 400, 500 square meters and squeezing a home on smaller blocks. This is great for depreciation benefits and great for a low, difficulty property to own in terms of you get a builder's warranty and it's going to give you depreciation benefits and potentially be low maintenance. But at the end of the day, when you draw the numbers up and compare one of those properties to a property, say 5 to 10 kilometers from the CBD, that is blue chip, is next to great schools and in a great pocket of Brisbane, in my opinion, they're chalk and cheese in terms of the opportunities they present for an investment opportunity. So that's really my thoughts on the growth corridor. There is going to be a lot of growth. There's going to be a lot of population flooding into this space. It's definitely got proximity to Brisbane and the Gold Coast and the future Brisbane Games, and we've got the 2032 Olympics happening. But as there are other options out there, I wouldn't be looking to buy in this pocket anytime soon. Now, we've got a similar story, lastly but not least, on the north side of Brisbane, between Brisbane and the sunny coast. So this is around Caboolture and Morayfield and Burpengary. This corridor is again on the northern side, and it's got the same situation. It's essentially not landlocked by water or any other factors. There's not going to be a huge demand in terms of for specific... Hello. Do you want to make a property purchase? Again, so if you're looking to buy on the north side, it's the same situation with Caboolture, Morayfield and Burpengary, where there's a large land supply surrounding these locations. There is access to Brisbane and the Sunshine Coast. It's not going to see the same demand as those inner city pockets where people want to live in those fantastic locations with walk scores that are through the roof, high affluence in those areas, and high income earners wanting to live in these locations. The price point of Caboolture and Morayfield is more around the $400,000 to $600,000 price point, depending on what you're buying. You could buy a large land parcel out in these locations and essentially land bank, but like I said, it's not necessarily going to be primed for growth anytime soon, other than growing in population. So the continued land supply I expect to keep up with the demand, and therefore I don't expect to see massive price appreciation over the next 5 to 10 years. Now, all in all, I am just some guy on YouTube touting locations I wouldn't be buying investment properties. It's important to do your own research about these areas and why you may or may not like them as an investment opportunity, and compare the data on these locations to other locations that you might be looking to buy in. Now, I run a buyer's agency called Purpose Property, and we're Brisbane specialists. So we buy in the Brisbane market roughly 30 kilometres north to 30 kilometres south, and anywhere in between, depending on your specific price point, your specific strategy, and what location and property preferences will meet your situation. If you're interested in booking a free strategy session with myself, where we sit down for around 40 minutes and have a chat and talk more about our services and your situation, then definitely head over to our website and book that in. Otherwise, subscribe to the channel, leave a like on this video if you found it useful. Really helps me grow the channel and help more people see these types of videos. And check out this video over here if you're interested in another video on real estate, renovating, or financial freedom. I'll see you in the next video.